Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Eyebrow Talk, Straight Razor Edition. One God or Many, Part 2. So, in my previous video that I posted about a week ago entitled One God or Many, I said it was in reference to individuals who were living in sin, right? That you should cast them out. Okay? And I don't disagree with that statement, and I still believe in it. But I want to clarify so that you don't misunderstand what I meant, because I obviously did a bad job at explaining it. That's kind of the issue with these fast-paced, quick hit-em videos that I've been doing is I feel rushed, and it is what it is, right? I'm not going to take the video down because the stuff I said in there I do believe. But I'm not saying that you have to cast out your entire family and all of your friends and anybody that's ever been in your life because they're a sinner, right? There are people that you should cast out of your life. There are people who offer no good in your life, right? If you have family members or friends or neighbors that maybe are or are not after the heart of the Father, okay, converse with them, speak to them, talk to them, right? Have a conversation and a life and a friendship and a relationship with all of them, because at the end of the day, that's part of our job, is to witness to everyone. Why would I just go to a bunch of people who believe exactly what I believe and then we just take it? It's the parable of the talent, right? When the master returns, that one says, "Hey, look, I buried it and I kept it so it wouldn't go away." And he's cast out. He's in trouble, right? He's done because he chose to keep the secret for himself. I'm posting this publicly to YouTube because it's not my truth, it's his truth, and it should be out to all. But if there's somebody that is denouncing the Father and is giving you no fruit in your life and is just constant headaches and pains, cast them out. I firmly believe that. The Bible tells us to do these things. The Father tells you that it'll just lead to destruction, right? Are you still gonna be nice to them? Of course. Are you still gonna aid and assist wherever you can? Why not? Yeshua would have done it, right? He did do it. But I wouldn't be hanging out, going to their home, inviting them into my home for, hey, come stay with me for a week, unless it was like, hey, I need somewhere to go, or I don't. There's a lot of what ifs this is a very loaded question, okay? And it's a very loaded answer because there's 1,000 billion trillion what ifs. But if you have friends and loved ones that are actively seeking the Father and the Son, regardless of where they're at in their journey, these are the people that we should be speaking with and talking to, right? The people that you should cast out are those ones who are complete in their transgression, right? That don't want to hear, right? You don't have to agree with me, and that's okay, but the Messiah did tell his disciples what? He said, if you enter a town or a village and they refuse to hear the truth, move on and knock the dust from your sandals, for their judgment is greater than the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? So, does that mean that I go in and say, hi guys, let me tell you about the Messiah? We don't want to hear about it. Okay, and you never go back? No. that's not refusing to hear the truth. That's just them not wanting to hear the truth. Refusal of the truth looks different, right? Refusing and not wanting are sound very similar, right? But at their core, it's two very different things, right? If I don't want dinner, right, that just means right now, maybe in an hour, maybe in 3, maybe in 20 minutes. If I refuse to eat your dinner, that means I will not eat your dinner, period. Not when I'm hungry or when I'm not hungry. Right? So if someone's refusing to hear the truth, Scripture tells us that there is a point in which there's nothing we can do, and it's better for us to just move on than to get drugged down with them. Right? There's a movie, I don't remember the name of it. It's with Steve Carell. It's a true story. There was a book on it. His son's a drug addict, and he does all these things to help his son for years and years and years. And then one day, sorry if I ruin it, it's a great movie, but one day he looks at it, his son calls needing help, and he says no. Right? Because in that moment, his dad realized that there's nothing he can do for his son anymore. You know? And at some point, we also have to realize that there's nothing we can do for the other individual. Now, if that other individual is just, you know, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, they're still actively seeking the Father, then yeah, they're still actively seeking a relationship with the Most High. They're just on a different stage of the journey than you are. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But those people are not refusing, right? They're not the ones that are refusing to hear the truth. The people that are looking you in the face saying there is no God, he doesn't exist, I spit on him, or they, you know, say terrible things about the Father and the Son and all kinds of stuff, and those are the ones who are refusing to hear the truth, that will not hear anything. What are you going to do for that person? Right? Move on. So, just to reiterate, right, in that video, which I don't know how to link and do, push here, right? I'll try to link this, so. But the Father's going to lead people in the direction that he chooses to lead people. I don't think, I know me sitting here on YouTube is not, he doesn't need me. Let's be simple. He doesn't need me, right, at all. I need him. He doesn't need me, I need him. So, he'll do with this in the internet as he pleases, okay? And people are going to hear what they would like to hear. My stance on holidays, it's what it is in the first video, right? Celebrating holidays is worshiping gods. Historically, religiously, if you look at religions, the Norse religion, you look at Wiccan religion, right? You look at a bunch of pagan religions, which most of those fall under. You look at Catholicism, you can go back and see where they literally said, we took these days and made them this. We did these things. You can go back and see how the Simhaim guys and girls and witches and wizards and warlocks sacrificed human beings and killed them super terribly, skinned them alive so their face was grotesque, cut their heads off, stuck them on poles so that when Halloween came around, the ghouls and the goblins would essentially be satisfied and not mess with the people. That's That's a fact. And that's directly linked to Halloween. There's no way you can spin you dressing up in a church parking lot and trunk or treat thing and say I'm doing it for a different reason. Right? It's like I said a long time ago. If I teach my children to start flipping everybody off and I say, this means I love you, have a good day, and we start a colony, and now the state of Colorado, because I had so much influence, apparently, the state of Colorado flipping somebody off means I love you, have a good day. The moment you leave outside of the state of Colorado and you go to anywhere else and you flip somebody off, that's not how they're going to see it. It doesn't matter that you've changed it, okay? It doesn't matter that you've changed the meaning. The original meaning still stands. So I cannot take a ritual, a form of worship, a sacrifice, a ceremony, a seance from another God and apply them to the Father and be right. I can't do that. He told us how to worship Him, and that's how we should worship Him. And all of those other ways are not worship of the Most High, of the Creator, of the Father, of the Messiah. I stand behind that. But to clarify, because I got feedback and I really appreciate it. If you have an issue with something I've said, I would love a comment, or I don't have that many people looking. Most of you have my phone number. My website is linked. You can go onto my website. If you would not like to leave a comment on there, you can go to my website and send an email through my website, which I'll then receive and be able to read it in private. My ears are wide open. And if I've misspoken or I've taken something out of context or I messed up my words and said something incorrectly, I have no issue going back and saying I was wrong. Zero. I didn't misspeak. I just didn't clarify, and that was my issue and my bad, so I apologize for that. But I don't take back what I said. I hope that in clarifying it now, you understand, and as to the individuals I was saying you should cast out. Not, your grandma that's putting up a little nativity scene, you should cast her out. But it does come down to, am I worshiping the true Creator, right? Am I worshiping the true Mashiach, the Messiah? Am I worshiping them in the form and ways and fashion in which they told me to? On the days they told me to, then I'm worshiping the Father. I'm celebrating the Father. I'm celebrating His days. If I am doing anything outside of that, right, I'm not. Now, I don't want to make this video so long, I'm sorry, but if you have a tradition, like when Passover comes, there's a tradition in our house where we watch Passion of the Christ, right? It's a very good visual representation. They speak Aramaic. They call the Messiah Yeshua, right? There's a lot of things I like about it. I think it's a very good representation to children, to my children, and to us. And just a reminder of maybe some of how terrible it would have been and how rough it would have looked to see all these things play out, But that's a tradition that's in my home, okay? It's not a religious practice, okay? It's not anything like that. It's just a tradition. So there are traditions that you can do inside your home that are not against the Father, right, or against the Son. But if those traditions are mingled with the worship of other gods, then... All right, I'll shut up now. And once again, I do this because I love and I care about all of you. So, may the truth set you free. Shalom, brothers and sisters.